Compartment syndrome, surgery, arm pump diet, arm pump supplements, arm pump devices, and a whole heap of bull. It's like when overweight people see the Ab King Pro ads and genuinely think they're gonna get abs. This is what arm pump gimmicks are for enduro races. I'm going to explain exactly what arm pump is, the two types of arm pump that most riders don't even know about, and how to fix it so you can enjoy your riding. So what is arm pump? Arm pump is the overuse of the muscles in your forearms. So just like any other muscle group in the body, when the forearms are overworked, past the point that it's used to working, it pumps up, restricts movement, and reduces your strength. So what are the two types of arm pump? Type 1 arm pump is where your arm pump is the worst at the start of the ride, and as you keep riding, it actually gets better and starts to go away. Type 2 arm pump is the opposite. You start off with limited to no arm pump at the start of a ride, and the longer you ride, the worse the arm pump gets. So what causes type 1 arm pump? There's three things. Number one is cold muscles. Cold muscles are weak muscles. If you've ever been in weather that's less than 10 degrees, you'll know that it's hard to move and to contract your muscles. That's what happens to your forearms when your muscles are not as warm as they need to be. They lose their strength. Number two is high nerves and stress. When you're nervous and stressed, it causes your body to be very tense and rigid. This will cause you to over grip the bars rather than being relaxed on the bike. Number three is discomfort in the riding conditions that you're riding. If you're riding in conditions that you aren't comfortable with or aren't used to, you'll automatically tighten up and start to ride stiff. You'll grip the bike like you're holding the safety rail in the front row of a roller coaster. So how do we fix type 1 arm pump? Let's start with the first cause. Number one, how do you fix cold muscles? Warm up. You can do a general warm up like ride an exercise bike for 5 to 10 minutes, followed by some wrist circles or wrist stretches. Or if you're out practicing, take it easy for those first 10 minutes of riding and slowly ramp up the intensity and speed on the bike. Number two, how to fix high nerves and stress. The only way to reduce nerves is to put work in with your preparation for the race and to put yourself in the environment that causes the nerves more often. Nervousness is a fear of the unknown. It's not knowing what is going to happen. Pro racers get nervous for big races because they're under pressure to perform. But you might get nervous if it's your first race and you want to do well. The only way to overcome that is to put yourself in that environment more often, and that means getting to some more races of a similar format. Number three, how to fix discomfort in certain riding conditions. When we're unfamiliar with our track conditions, we have a death grip on the bike because we feel unsafe. The more we ride the conditions and improve our skills in those conditions, the more comfortable we become. The more comfortable we get, the more relaxed we become on the bike, and the less we hang on for dear life. We flow with the bike rather than trying to fight against it. What causes type 2 arm pump? Type 2 arm pump is caused by the forearm muscles being overworked and accumulating more and more fatigue as you keep riding. The hard part is knowing what is actually causing them to be overworked. So how do we fix type 2 arm pump? There's 5 things to investigate. Number one is strength. You've got a bike that weighs probably over 100 kilos, and then you've got your body weight on top of that. So let's say you weigh 80 kilos. That's a total of 180 kilos that you need to wrestle around on race day. Most riders aren't as strong as they need to be. At the start of a ride, they've got their arms doing 20% of the work and their big powerhouse muscles like their legs and their upper back doing 80% of the work. As they start to get tired and fatigued, they have their arms and their hands doing 80% of the work and the rest of their body doing 20% of the work. If you can work on getting yourself stronger, you can keep your legs and back doing 80% of the work and keep your arms doing 20% of the work all the way through the race. Exercises like back squats, deadlifts, bent over rows, overhead presses are a great place to start. Number two, cardio. Cardio helps your body to deliver oxygen to your muscles. If you don't get oxygen to your muscles or enough oxygen, you will lose strength and lose endurance. When you lose strength and lose endurance, that 80-20 ratio is at play again. Your body's big powerhouse muscles like your legs and upper back start doing less and less and less work. So your hands and forearms are forced to do more and more and more work just to keep you on the bike. Work on using interval training that mimics the up and down intensity of enduro racing. You have to remember that even though an enduro race might be 3 hours, there's different levels of intensity in there. You might have one part of the track like the whoops, which exerts you a lot. You might have other parts of that same track like a straight, where you can sit down and recharge, that doesn't exert you much at all. An enduro race is made up of these ups and downs of intensity. In the gym, you can use a rowing machine and do intervals with 1 minute flat out, followed by 1 minute rest, and repeat that for 5 to 10 rounds. Number 3, nutrition. Food is fuel for your muscles. Most of you guys are fueling your bike better than you're fueling your own body. Once your muscles run out of fuel, they've got no endurance, they've got no strength left because there's nothing in the tank. The 80-20 principle is at play again. The big powerhouse muscles in your body, like your legs and your upper back, start doing less and less and less work. And this forces your arms, your fingers, your hands to do more and more and more work. This is why whiskey throttle and hands coming off the bars starts to become a problem, because the rest of your body is no longer helping you to stay on the bike. It's the hands and arms that take all of the load until they give out and they just can't do anymore. Work on topping up your carbs before and during rides. A good start is 30 to 45 grams of simple carbs during your ride. You can use a bottle of Powerade every hour and stick it in your Camelback, or have a couple of carb gels every hour. Number 4, flexibility and mobility. If you get arm pump on one arm and don't get it on the other, it's usually due to a previous injury on that specific limb. And that causes tightness and stiffness more in one side of your body than it does in the other side. You can start off with some self-massage, just using your thumbs or a mobility ball or golf ball. Or to take things a little bit more seriously, you can see a massage therapist or physio to help to loosen things up. You want to regain full mobility and flexibility so you can have equal strength in both arms. Number 5, bike time and setup. If you don't ride for 6 months and then get on the bike, you'll probably get arm pump, even if you've been smashing the gym. This is because you're not going to feel comfortable on the bike because you haven't ridden for so long, and you're going to be hanging on for dear life. Once you get a bit more consistency with your riding, you'll relax. And when you relax, you won't hang on as tight. Same goes for bike setup. If you're riding a bike that's set up for a 100 kilo rider and you're 70 kilos, you'll probably get arm pump because you feel like you're out of control on the bike. This will cause you to hold on for dear life and blow up your arms. Easy fix. Get your bike set up for your body weight and the type of riding that you do. If you're sick of getting arm pump while you're racing, apply for my Faster Laps program below.